Hello there. Thank you so much for joining Hela Wozniak-Kay and myself today. I've been really looking forward to our chat, Hela, aka the Connectress, Supremo of the award-winning Sister Snog and Lady with the Glue Gun, famous for her fabulous shoe woohoos, columnist for Brand New magazine. My goodness, this goes on. And co-author of Fab Collab with another book on the way. So there's loads of stuff to talk about today. But can we start, Hela, by you telling me a little bit more about you, Sister Snog, and your glue gun before we dive into the visibility questions?
Yeah, well, me, Mr. Snog, no, Sister Snog, and the glue gun. So I've been a collector of Wonder Women, I think, for the past 6 decades, and always drawn to, women with character, from my childhood to my teens to my uni days, and then as if by magic and as if by accident, Sister Snog happened, which is actually 2 decades ago. I had a lunch with myself, my business partner at the time, Annie Brooks, and four others. And we had this amazing lunch. And this was before Facebook, before 101 different ways to connect. So we started to have this monthly lunch that started to mushroom. We attracted all manner of wonderful women who were running their own businesses. And it has grown over the past 2 decades. It's morphed, it's ridden the storm of COVID. And so we've kind of today are a mix of online and in person. And my goal always is to connect really wonderful women with each other, because I do believe you actually can never know enough good people in business. So that's what it's about. And then the glue gun, the lady with the glue gun, we all have creative outlets. And I discovered after Annie actually bought me a glue gun that I had a little talent for creating. It's my hobby, it's my therapy, but I weave in these shoe woohoos into the Purple Shoe Awards, into the tablescaping at events. And I just believe that today, we all have these little funny quirks and we should just explore them. And what I've found is you can actually make a living from egg whites and sugar, as the meringue girls have actually demonstrated. And I love what's happening out there, and that we're all getting a little bit more crafty. So how do you weave it all together? Well, that's kind of what I do at Sister Snog for
Yeah.
myself, but to encourage others.
Yeah, and it's absolutely amazing. I mean, I've been in Sister Snog for just over a year with you, and it's just been an awesome experience meeting so many wonderful women and experiencing your fabulous, wonderful one-offs, and obviously seeing these shoes decorating our lovely tables when we arrive. It's always a treat to see what you've created.
Well, I believe that there was a time when there was networking events that didn't have any magic. Or when I first started, I read a book by Faith Popcorn and Lise Marigold, which is Evolution: The 8 Truths of Marketing to Women. And one of them is you need to appeal to all aspects of women, to their hearts, their souls, their minds. And what kind of, if you can make a business event feel like a wedding, then you create a wonderful stage where you get you kind of enhance the conversations. And my goal is to make people feel special, and that everyone's a VIP.
Yeah, and it really feels like that, actually. It does feel special when you walk into a room, and everyone's really excited to be there and really excited to see fellow sisters. They're really awesome.
And sisters always form part of each in-person event, as well as the Fabulous Fridays. I created a dress code which was well, that's got a story behind it. But I think sometimes if you're kind of wearing something that's individually you, but part of something, it's tribal. You know, when I got married, I had 11 bridesmaids. I didn't know what they were wearing, but I gave them the brief in terms of the colors. But together they form something. And I think
Yeah.
that's what it's all about for me.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it's a tribe. It's great. And I mean, it makes us visible, but Sister Snog is like very visible and very sort of desirable network to join. Um, so I wanted to dive into some of the questions now. And I'm sure this is, I mean, I can sort of think of lots of reasons why this would be, but what do you think was the thing or things that initially got you noticed? I'm sure there's going to be tons here. I mean, having conversations and building up relationships rather than
Yeah,
always just posting and you can be invisible actually, even if you post every day, you can still be
you can.
invisible because people just scroll past if they don't know who you are and you haven't ever engaged with anybody else. It's
Well, you know, it's really funny. It's a funny old question because what gets you noticed? I mean, one thing is, you know, I am quite active within the social media world. I mean, when it first started, it scared me a little bit because I'm like, oh my God, what's going on in this online world? But actually, if you embrace it and if you know, I'm also a bit of an iPhone snapper. I'm not a professional photographer, but I take photos of life, of every day, you know, of trees, of, you know, burgers, of shoes, of charity shop finds. And I think it's about sharing a little bit more about you rather than saying, this is me, this is what I'm selling, this is what I'm promoting. Would you like to buy some? It's like, would you like to get to know me? Can we have a boogie? You know, I love cooking. You know, I love walking. I don't really love running, but I have done it. Um, you know, so getting visible, I think, also is about engaging with others because there are those that post and go. I'm into sometimes don't post at all, but have a little chat because everybody likes to have a comment that can lead to a conversation that can introduce somebody else. And I think getting noticed is also about being not about me, but being about we. You know, if you turn the M upside down, it's a W. So the more that we're into engaging with each other, the more you get noticed as someone who's a bit real and wants to have, you know, a wonderful chat across the, you know,
yeah,
the garden post, you
yeah, and
know, which
that is so
you
true
love.
actually.
And you're
Yeah,
not entertaining and you're not giving a little bit of, oh, here's something I've found, or here's a little bit of knowledge, or, you know, I, not always, but I endeavor to include others in, you know, if I'm commenting, it's like, what do you think? You know, X and Y and Z, you
yeah,
know, so that we, we all used to just talk a lot more.
yeah.
And I think that's kind of, it's not lost at in-person events, but online you can have beautiful conversations, and I think that's possibly what my visibility is about, is because I talk to a lot of people a lot of the time, even if I don't know them, it doesn't matter, because you can spark up. I've got loads of insta pals I've never met,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. So I'm going to kind of move on to another question for you because I know
Go on then,
you've got so
let's go,
many kind of
open the box
pearls of
question.
wisdom going on here. But so, what leap of faith did you make to step out of your comfort zone and into the limelight? So, I know a lot of people find it difficult and nerve-wracking to move out of their comfort zones, and I wonder how you did it, and
Well,
if it was nerve-wracking for you. I don't know.
interestingly, I think I live in my comfort zone every day,
Oh,
you know. I just sometimes what's going on, you know, within the world of Hela and the internal world. But I kind of make myself, you know, when I see someone who inspires me and think, well, they've done that, they've launched that course, you know, they've said a little bit, look at me. I'm not very good at look at me. I'm like, here's what I'm doing. But what makes you step out of the comfort zone is just kind of realizing it's not as scary as you think. We have an internal clock. that sometimes stops us doing the whole 24 hours of a day. And fear of being liked, not liked, being accepted, not accepted. You know, I am writing this book, and I think I will dwell on some of the going back to childhood. I was always the third friend, you know, there'd be the best friend and Hela. And I've sometimes, the reason I've called this book I Wish I Had a Sister, is because I kind of wanted to be a sister. And then as time has gone on, if I look back, I could sort of post rationalize and say, well, therefore I created my own tribe of like hundreds of those that call themselves sisters. And I think we just need to be a bit braver and actually realize, A, you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea or flavor, you know, favorite flavor. But those that are, and those that you know, kind of create a Knickerbocker glory with, those are the ones that you want to hang out with. So it's being brave. And I do wake up with, you know, a ball of fear sometimes, like fear of the day and how will I get through it and how will I do what I want to do? Because I have a secret internal ambition. But I don't know that I always want to be brave enough to wave from the, you know, the rooftops and say, look at me. You know, you kind of want people to gravitate to you because you're putting out stuff that is a little bit, you know, a little bit wow, a little bit entertaining and real, and also from the heart.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's important. You can actually tell, you know, those people you see online, and then when you meet them in person, are they the same person or not? You
Yeah.
know,
Well,
we're
that's
not fools.
true. Yeah.
We're not.
No, that's absolutely true. I mean, authenticity is really important. But I mean, in terms of stepping out of your comfort zone, sometimes it's not the right thing to do necessarily, but sometimes it can be a very joyful process as
Yes,
well, which I've found myself that you know, sometimes like it can be difficult to make those first steps to be a sort of more sociable and kind of walk into a room full of people. That can be quite difficult for many people, but when you do it, it's a joyful experience.
it is joyful. And I always, you know, I always think I hate going to events on my own. So, I mean, my tip is, you know, don't go on your own. You've always got at least two or three people to bring with you. You don't have to all hold hands, but you kind of know that they're there.
Yeah,
And, and you also know if you're clicking with someone. I mean, don't hang around to someone just because they might just be a little bit goddess like. If there's no
absolutely.
click there and they're not interested, you know, there are enough um, you know, pies in the pie shop for us all to have, you know, one of each flavor.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So that's so true. So um the final question is what piece of advice would you offer listeners today to become more visible to their ideal audience, or what sort of key piece of advice could you give people?
Well, I think whatever you're doing, do it consistently. You know, if we're looking at social media, if you're going to post on a Monday at 10 o'clock, you know, do that, or post once a week, do that. To be more visible as well, I think you need to kind of be a bit brave. You know, we're talking about comfort zone, be brave. You know, if there's someone you like, pick up the phone. But also, in order to become more visible, I think you've got to find something that people want to look at, that they want to know more about, that they want to have questions about. I mean, you've written a collaborative book, and I've written a collaborative book, and I think that sort of, you know, up the volume. Doing your own book, creating a podcast, you know, launching a something that is associated with you, because we've all got something that is truly unique. However you kind of flavor it or frame it, you know, they can say that there is nothing unique anymore. There's your spin on it. You know, what is it that you want to be known for? What would you like people to say about you? You know, oh, you really got to meet Liz because you've really got to meet Hela because. I would say give them the because. because, you know, Marie Louise, who I know you've spoken to, said Hela's, you know, mad as a box of frogs. I'm absolutely happy with that. And we've actually even put it in the journal because that's what she thinks. But beyond that kind of little bit of, you know, we're not all going to be Ronald McDonald, but be slightly interesting, entertaining, give value, you know, smile, remember birthdays. That's always, you know, it doesn't take much because Facebook tells you whose birthday it is today. You know, don't just go happy birthday. Send a little something, say a little something, do a little bit more than just, you know, my least favorite comment is can't wait, because I'm like, well, what does that mean? You know, say a little bit something more and you will start to be remembered. And you know, be a bit challenging. Don't be frightened to say, you know, why am I being ghosted, for example, or, you know, I don't know. You don't need to. I mean, I'm not very big on the news and what's going on. So the other day I was like, what's this Coldplay business going on? You don't necessarily want to be remembered by having your hobby, having a snog or whatever with someone. But, you know, it's really interesting. Find something that's that, but positive and not, you know, not about dissing anybody. You
Yeah.
know, I also think naming and shaming is like a no-no in my book. You know, I think be kind and make people want to invite you for dinner.
Yeah.
In fact, invite yourself. Say, I'm available for dinner on these days. And here are
Well,
some of,
we can put it out there now, Hela. We're available for
yeah,
dinner.
we're
Anyone
available for
anyone that
dinner.
wants to invite us, please do.
And also, we will bring something.
Yeah, we'll bring a bottle. Yeah.
I'll bring a bottle and a shoe woohoo and a little bit of my something that I've created. So yes, please invite us either independently or we come as a double act
Yeah,
as well.
absolutely. That'd be fabulous. Excellent. Thank you so much, Hela. This has been really, really interesting. I'm sure
It's
everyone
been
who watches
lovely.
this will be really fascinated to watch it. So I hope everyone's enjoyed this session, and also please put any comments in below, please. And if you want to know more about Hela and Sister Snog, I'm going to put her details in the comments as well, so you can always find out more about Hela and get in touch with Hela if you want to know more about her networking. So thanks very much, Hela. I will
I
see you
just want
very
to end
soon.
one thing.
Oh, yes.
Liz, I'm inviting you over to Brighton for breakfast, lunch, dinner, afternoon tea.
Oh, fabulous. Thank you very much.
Go on down.
Well, let's sort it out after
We'll
this.
fix a date.
Yeah, fabulous. Take care.